Hello! Yes, it's time to take a look at some more cheap transforming tat here and do a little bit more of a Nations rip-off, because I thought, why not? When I have exactly the same sofa set up as him, I might as well milk that for every comedic penny it's worth. Here we go with a Robojet Heroes of the Sky Air Combat Rescue Squad, apparently. Oh, don't forget, just become robots. Yes. It's another good old sort of Poundland style package that I don't really understand why I've kept, because yeah, this is just a shonky piece of just, it's tat. It's tat of the highest order. What's on the back then? Yes, there's a picture of a sort of red helicopter one here. As far as I know, that does exist. And, you know, miraculously, the other one pictured on the back is actually what you get in the box. Although the colours are flipped, aren't they? It's blue and then white, and then that one is white and then blue. Who knows? But they've even been kind enough to print some instructions on the back. Oh, it's almost value for money. Very nearly. You'll see it's made by Top Toys. I've never heard of them. I'm presuming that they just, you know, do Poundland cack. Yes. Oh look, missiles launch. Haha, no they don't. And there we have a very, very small besmirched onion down there. I suppose I can sort of tell you a little bit of a story about this, apart from the fact that this was what one of my mates got me for my 18th birthday. Cheers. But yeah, that sort of says, why have I kept this in its box for 2 years? I don't know, it's just been chucked in a corner. I didn't really have the heart to throw much of it away when it was a present. But yeah, now I'm sort of going to just tear into it in the metaphorical review sense on camera and just show you how utterly awful it is. But yes, you may recognise the fact that these figures are just upscaled versions of very small ones. This helicopter bloke here, I believe that's a version of Micromaster. I know him as Rotor from the Cybertron little aerial bots. I'm sure it was probably some sort of like Japan, I don't know, was it Zone or whatever those ones like 6-liner were in. Yeah, he's just a bigger version of him with some different missile firing arms, which actually look like new pieces, and a rotor blade that comes off and goes on top. Actually slightly imaginative there, and that might actually be, you know, relatively okay. This one though, the one that I've got, is a pure just upscaling of a minicon called Overcast, I think, from Cybertron. And yeah, it just, oh man, it should not work at this size. Minicons are made to be small. This is, I don't know, scout sized, a little bit close to deluxe size. It shouldn't be this big, and it really shows. Anyway, let's have a look at this thing. Oh, already I'm remembering why I never touched this. Well, you can see it's a sort of vaguely nice blue bomber plane. It's got these bits which are missile launchers on the sides that just, they flop around. Oh, and look, that bit's come off too. Yes, it just doesn't hold together. Stability is not a word that this thing would use in its vocabulary to describe itself. Yeah, oh, it feels bad. Oh god, and look, it's already come apart. Straight away, that tail section just comes straight off this crap hinge. Oh, but it goes back together easy enough. Haha, it'll stay like that all of 2 seconds. But I guess for what you do get in this mode, I mean, I don't know how much this was. As I said, it was a present, and it could have very well come from Poundland. I'm very, very sure it would have come from Poundland or a 99p shop or one of those horrible discount places. So I guess for what you get a relatively big aeroplane. Got some nice gold on the cockpit, although it does sort of go over all the lines that would sort of separate pieces. And actually no, let's take all that back. That's crap, because this is a bomber plane. It wouldn't have a big glass cockpit, it would just have windows around the side there, I think. So that's all just wrong. They've just painted the top of the plane gold and said that's where the pilot sits, when it isn't. But I suppose there's some nice silver on the engine wings bits here. I don't know what to call that. There's engines, but then maybe these bits meant to be engines. No, of course not, they shoot the missiles. Who knows? Shall we shoot a missile? What about the other one? Nope. Yes, the firing gimmick is not working in this thing's favour. The missile is just far too long, and by the time that you've applied the force to push them out of the socket, they just sort of get stuck, you know, they just rub against the edges and they just do not fire. So yes, this is a pretty poor sort of aeroplane mode. It's a bit sort of, I don't know, something about it feels very kids first aeroplane. It's all a bit chubby and slightly super deformed, and this sort of blue colour, oh no, I don't know if you can see, but this back section isn't even the same colour as the front. At least try, lads, come on. But I suppose they have shown, you know, possession of at least one brain cell by taking out the mini-com port, which I assume would have been down here. There isn't really anywhere else it could have gone, you know, that would have been the only solid place, and they've just sort of filled it up. So, you know, maybe plus 0.25 points for structural integrity, when it started off at like -10. I realise now that, yeah, I've been holding off turning it into a robot. Go on then, let's do that. Sure, this bit comes down. Head folds up. I suppose, you know, there's a good few joints here, so it's not just fold that down, there's his head. Fold that, oh god. Fold that awful hinge out that will just come off every single time. Come down to the back of the plane, fold the feet out. Oh, you know what, I'm just going to do it like this. Split the legs there. There are some knees in there, which I guess isn't bad, you know. If this was a Minicon, I imagine it would be a pretty good one. But at this size, no, just no. And then I suppose you can sort of angle the arms down. Yeah. So here is the Rescue Squad Robojet. Yes. Let's go in for a close-up here. The sculpting for the face is there, I guess, but, you know, as I said, it should only be like, what, that big, and it's this big, and, oh, it looks bad. The paint is really badly done on his eyes there. I mean, you can see there's sort of meant to be sort of 2 strips for his eyes, like some sort of Cylon thing, and it goes around the side of his head. But they've only painted the front, and, oh, it's really, really awful paint. It just looks like someone's taken some lipstick and rubbed it across his eyes. I don't know if you can tell, his chest isn't really on straight either. You know, the arms are just very limited, and oh look, they come off too. What a surprise. Everything sort of points to this being good if it was the size it was intended to be. I don't have any of those Cybertron Minicons, so I can't really compare him to what he should be like. Oh, lovely, big hollow spaces. But it's safe to say this is a small abomination and should probably be cast down into some sort of icy pit of hell. Again, I can't really just talk about it properly because it will just fall apart, and I want to talk about the legs and I want to try and put it in a dynamic pose, but no, won't have it, will it? Sod it. There are ball joints at the hips here. Oh, I think I might have broken something there. Who knows? They're very limited and they don't really move, and they sort of snap out, and they're on knees and they hardly move either, and it's all horrible hollow stuff, but I guess a very small amount of detail. The construction is just unforgivable with the way it falls apart and the loose joints and the detailing. You know, it makes part of him look like it's been sculpted out of butter. It's just very bad upscaling. I guess I just wish they hadn't made it like they did, and just take something small and make it bigger. That's what so many knockoff companies do, and Hasbro too these days, am I right? So it's very safe to say this isn't really a toy you should give to children, because it will just fall apart, splinter, and just, well, maybe not splinter, but I don't think any kid's really going to get much enjoyment out of a robot that falls apart as soon as they touch it, and, you know, you're just going to lose the pieces, aren't you? Oh god, and there are loose parts and tight parts and bits that come off and bits that don't, and then, it's just very, very, very bad, and I don't want to look at it anymore. I think it may even be bad enough to warrant a bit of a smash. No. I can't bring myself to destroy any sort of toy, even if it is as bad as this. Maybe it's because this was a present, and, you know, there's a very, very small iota of sentimental value. But even with all that, you can't polish a turd, and that's very much what this is. It's It's got, you know, some not really bad paint. You don't see this sort of level of metallic stuff on much stuff, especially if it's some sort of Poundland knockoff. But when it just falls apart as readily as this. I mean, I didn't even need to start hitting it with a hammer, did I? All I have to do is shake it. Shake it. It doesn't even fall apart when you want it to. Oh, right, there may be one hit.